We're going to put this 6-prong head on here, this diamond, and size these rings. See the mounting? The head's going to go on there. We're going to have to modify it a little bit to make everything work. We'll take this head here and do a little modifications on it. Take this little wheel right here. Flatten out a little. Okay, so we gotta get it to fit right in down that mounting right there. So, the way we do that, we take this wheel right here, and we go on the side of this head. Kind of smooth it down a little, modify it a little bit. Flatten the sides down a little bit right there. And we go to the opposite sides. Do the same thing. Because we don't want to spread this open, because this is you could cut it in the middle, but you don't want to cut it in the middle because then you make the sides where the sides are not even. So you have to make the head fit down in the hole. So we're nearly there. So now what we do is take a little bit off the inside there, inside edge there. Take a little off this edge. Take a little off this edge. Gotta make sure you keep it straight, nice and neat looking. Now, got a nice, neat little fit there. So now we're going to weld that together. So I'd grind the bottom of that head right here, just like so. Just like that right there. Now we're going to get the torch out. This may look easy, but it's not hard. It's very hard. It takes somebody with a little experience. I wouldn't advise nobody to do this without a lot of experience. Use 14 karat solder. That's white gold solder. Cut the soft little piece of it right here. Not too much, but you gotta have just enough to make sure you got a good solder bite on it. Now light my torch. Adjust the flame accordingly. Get your pair of tweezers. I wouldn't advise holding it with hands because it will burn you. Okay. Now here's the fun part. Now we got to use the flat edges we cut to make sure it fits in there on the flat edges, on the flat edge on this side and this side. That side and that side is where we cut it at. So it will fit down in the hole. Put a little flux on there. That makes your welds weld. It keeps your metals clean, keeps it from turning black. Grab it like that. Now we get our solder, ball it up, and then we'll heat it up. Bottom there. And we'll take it. Heat our mountings up.
Searching for a woman who disappeared last week. Today 4, the help her family is asking for as they try to find her. A problematic school in South Louisville is going away. The new plan for the High Life Tour. People always ask me if these Patrick furniture really approves everybody for financing, and the answer is yes. And this is truly financing, and not a lease or a rental agreement like other stores. We give you affordable monthly payments and a short term, so you can pay it off quickly. And we report to the credit bureau.
All right, you gotta make sure it's all nice and straight. Here's the hard part. You have to do it 3 or 4 times to get it right, probably.
When I got hurt, couldn't work anymore. I applied for Social Security disability, and then I waited and I waited. Eventually,
Bring it
I
this
told
way.
them, hey, what's taking so long with my benefits? And they said, what benefits? Pension time. And I said, nothing. I'm getting a lawyer.
Denied disability benefits? If you work, you've earned it. Call the Prong office and we'll guide you through the process and help get you approved. Next Family Guy. Everyone hug is vanished. Was it Peter? I'm not sure that Peter's the guy we think he is. He seems harmless and actually kind of nice. You slept with him. Next Family Guy. United 7 on WFYO.
Did you just recently get married and you believe your newlywed husband is cheating on you? If so, call the Maury Show at 1-888-45-MAURY. That's 1-888-45-MAURY.
How many people can say that they have loved the same man since the 5th grade? Everyone welcome Jacqueline to the show. Jacqueline says she has only loved one man her entire life, her husband of 12 years, Chris. But after Chris started hanging out at strip clubs, he made a bombshell confession. He told Jacqueline that he cheated with one of the exotic dancers, but then he took it back. This is Jacqueline's story.
I've loved Chris since I was in the 5th grade.
Yeah, we gotta make sure we get a good weld.
And had our 2 children. I thought we finally had our happy ending. But I was wrong. After our children were born, Chris became distant. He began hanging at strip clubs and even admitted after drinking to having oral sex with one of the dancers. Who does that? I'm also convinced that Chris had an affair with one of our neighbors after he sent her to the salon I work at for a Brazilian wax. I'm an honest woman and I don't deserve this.
That's what it's gonna look like. It's all tarnished up. It's all tarnished up, but
I love him with all my heart. We've been together my
it's
whole
nice and straight
life
looking.
for 12 years, 2 kids.
Now, we're gonna put it in what we call the pickle. It's acid. Get some of the black off of it. And we're gonna hand polish it and set the stone.
I was hurt. It made me feel insecure. I told him no. But then he took it back and said I was crazy. He never said that.
Take a little brush like that.
This woman came in to have a procedure.
Get all the fire coating off. Still got a little fire coating here and there, so we're going to take this little burr here and just kind of scratch it down through there and get some of that coating off of it. Just see a little fire scale on it right there, like right there. We're getting that off. Alright, then we'll run our brush back over it again. Dust that fire scale off. Just kind of prepping it before we set the stone. Okay. Okay, now we got to size this to, we're going to size this to a 5 3/4. Get the ring stick out. Right now it's 6 3/4, so we got to cut one size out. I do it a little differently than a lot of people. I'm going to cut out one size. One size is one size would be like taking a 1/4 inch and splitting it in half. So it's about a half of a 1/4 inch. See right there? Check the size on this one, see if it's the same. 6 3/4. Do the same thing on it. Make sure we got nice straight edges, nice clean edges. Alright, now we're going to use what's called bow benders. See how they're made? We're going to take this ring, just kind of bend it around there. You really want to watch your filigree up here. Make sure you don't mess none of that up. Don't bust no stones. You want to be careful mashing on it. Some of it just takes practice. Make sure our parts is good and lined up, nice and straight. Now we're going to weld them. Keep your pad nice and clean, so I can keep a brush around to keep it brushed off. Keep the dust and the dirt, everything off from the way. cut me little pieces of solder. Not too big, not too small. I'm going to light my torch. Adjust my flame. I don't want it too big, not too small. I'm going to get me some flux. And I'm going to flux my little spot where my weld is going to be. And then it's going to bubble up white. And then we're going to weld it. Nice and quick weld. Got to make sure the solder flows all the way through to the bottom. Make sure there ain't no pits that we actually see. Now, got to do the other one. Make sure your joints are lined up good. Then we're going to do this in the same way. Put a little flux on it. Some people use boric acid. I prefer batter and self-pickling flux. Make sure it flows good on the inside. There's that. Now we'll take it while it's still hot. As long as there ain't no colored stones in it, we're going to throw it in acid. Alright. Now we dipped it in acid. And we're ready to go. I'm going to grind out the inside, the little spot where I made my weld. I use a little burr, cone burr, I guess is what you call it, cylinder burr, that's what it's called. Clamp it in there, and then I'll grind it out in the inside, a little weld there on the inside there, right there. Same thing as that one, little spot there on the inside. Got a little hump. You just want to get the little hump. You don't want to grind more than the hump. Make sure it's nice and even on the inside. And then we get our stick. And then we put it on our stick and hope it's right. Right on the money. 5 3/4. Of course, you may not get it that way. I've been doing this for 35 years or better. Then I'll file it just enough to get the edge off of it. May look like I filed a lot, but I didn't. I just mainly took off the rough edges. The little hump. See how that one's got a hump there? I see them too. Do this in the same way. Make sure it's the right size. I've got 5 3/4. This is a little snugger than the last one, so I'll take my little hammer there and I'll peck on my weld. Just give it a little peck in there. Just enough to kind of peck it up to the right size. And there we go, 5 3/4. Now I'll take that. Sometimes you might need to straighten it a little bit this way or that way on the sides. And then I'll file off my excess solder. And I'll file off the top edge of the solder. After I do all that, then I take this little silicone wheel here. It's like 100 grit. Get a nice flat edge on it. And then I'll run this right here on there just like so. Just to kind of give it get rid of that file marks and smooth it down to make it easy to polish. See that one? And there's the other one. We're going to do this in the same way as we did that one. Make it a little smoother. Just like so. Alright. Now we're ready to, we're going to hand polish the head and set the stone. Of course, I'm going to throw it in the pickle one more time. Okay, I'm going to get the ring out of the pickle. I'm going to run that brush on it. One more time. Get down in there nice and clean again, and then we're going to hand polish it and get it shiny down between them little prongs there. Alright, now we're going to hand polish it. Put a little shine between them prongs so when you look down in there, you don't see a bunch of, I prefer Fab Luster. So now we're going to polish it down between there like that. See out one side how dull looking it is, and then we start shining it up on the other. This is our everyday activity here at the jewelry repair shop. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but that's shinier now. We're going to put it in the cleaner for just a second. Alright, now I'm going to set the diamond. Here's the diamond. It looks to be a little over a carat. Just by glancing at it. It's actually a 99 pointer. Belongs to Brett Johnson. I guess he just purchased this today. So now we get us a setting burr. I'm going to use this one right here. It's a 90-degree burr, I believe. Or 45, something like that. Anyway, it's a burr. It looks like that. Now I'm going to cut some little seats in it. Cut little notches. Okay, I cut little notches all the way around the top of there. Now I'm going to take my diamond. I'm going to pop her in there. Diamonds are tough. Colored stones are not. So, you know, if you're using colored stones, you better take a lot of caution. Now it kind of sits in there. It's just kind of sitting in there just like so. I'm going to squeeze my prongs down like that. Go with that one. Then I'm going to go with this one over here. Squeeze that down. Just kind of go the opposites. If I do that one, I'm going to go over to this other opposite side. Just kind of work my way around it like that right there. Not putting too much pressure on it. Just enough to snug it in. Then I'm going to take a glance at it. Make sure everything is lining up good. Sometimes they're a little crooked and sometimes they sit in there perfectly fine. They're crooked, we have to make a little adjustments on them. Get my loop out right here. I use a 5-power. Some people use more, but I'm not trying to find all the little flaws. I'm just trying to find my flaws in my work. And it looks like everything is fine in it. See there? That's how it sets. Alright, now we gotta smooth the prongs down and put little balls on them. So make sure the stone's tight. Stone feels good. Everything looks good. Now I'm gonna take and get that little wheel out again. A lot of people use a file, but it's a little quicker for me. Put a nice edge on it, like so. I'm going to flatten them down. See how I kind of flatten that down there? Get it flat down there, and I'll go ahead and run a file over it to get it a little bit flatter, because I'm going to run a cut burr over it to make the prongs, top of the prongs around it. Okay, see, they're nice and flat. Now I'm going to find a nice burr that fits them. There, looks like a pretty decent one to start with. Sometimes I'll start out with a little bit bigger one and work my way down to the right size where it makes them look nice and round. Just kind of run it over the tops of them there. You can see the difference between the square ones and the round ones there. Alright, see how the prongs are nice and round? Alright. And now it's going to go through polishing. The ring be polished up. Nice and pretty. Be nice and clean when we're done with it. Use a little piece of watch band here to keep my fingers from getting so hot. I'm going to polish the inside of these rings. You know, polish the band. See how hot it's getting? It's smoking. That's why you wouldn't really want to hold that with your fingers, because it will burn. Alright. I'm going to polish down between them prongs again. And voila, and that goes to cleaning. Just send it to cleaning. There you go. There's waiting set there. It's pretty much finished. Doesn't need to be polished and cleaned. Put a little shine on it. And it's done. It's for Brett Johnson.